Today I'm telling you about the important things you need to know before taking one of those iconic red London buses. Okay, number one, you cannot use cash to get on a bus. Your only options for getting onto a bus are to pay by Oyster card, contact us credit or debit card, which if you don't know what that means, you don't have it, or paper travel card. So make sure you have one of those before you hop on a bus because you're gonna hop right off if you don't. Number two, you only need to tap on. Unlike on the underground when you need to tap in when you get to the station you're leaving from and then tap out once you get off the underground, you only have to tap on when you get on a bus. Make sure you get onto the front of the bus because the reader is up there. Some of the newer buses have readers in the back as well, but just to make sure you get to the reader, just get on at the front door. Number three, one ride costs £1.50 no matter what. Unlike on the underground where the farther that you travel generally, the more that you're gonna pay. No matter how far you go on the bus, one ride is always £1.50. Number four, bus rides don't count towards the daily cap on your Oyster card. So do you remember in my Oyster card video how I told you about the daily capping? Taking a bus does not count towards that daily cap, but there is a separate bus daily cap, which is £4.50. So if you take 3 or more rides, you're never gonna pay more than £4.50 for those bus rides. Number five, they can be really slow during rush hour. As you can probably guess, there's tons of traffic when it's rush hour here in London, so you might find that if you can walk somewhere, you might actually get there quicker than if you took the bus. Number six, buses don't stop at every single stop. So if you're stood at a bus stop and you look up at the sign and it says it's a request stop, that means the bus will only stop if somebody on the bus requests it to or somebody at the stop requests it to. So if you're stood at the stop, make sure you put your hand out and wave the bus down when you see it coming and it'll pull over and stop for you. Number seven, press the stop request button when it's almost your stop. When you see that your stop is next on the bus, just make sure you press the red button that you'll find all over the bus on the poles, and that will let the driver know that you need to get off. Number eight, if you're on the top deck of the bus, make sure you get down as quickly as possible when it's your stop. Unfortunately, there are a lot of bus drivers that are really quick to close the doors, even if you haven't made it all the way downstairs yet. This is really unsafe, and they tell you not to do this, but I usually get up and head down the stairs even before the bus has actually stopped at my stop, just to make sure I get off in time. Just be really careful. You can try to do that, but keep in mind if you have kids or a lot of things, maybe it's best for you to stay on the bottom deck of the bus so you make sure you have enough time to gather up your things and the kids and get off. Number nine, try to sit by one of these signs that shows the upcoming stop. There are a couple spots on the bus where there's a digital sign that says what the next stop is. You don't know where you're going, but you know what stop you're supposed to get off at. Try to make sure you position yourself by one of those signs so you can keep an eye, and then you can press the stop request button when you see your stop pop up. Number 10, some buses run all night, but not all of them. So if you have a big night out and you're trying to get back to your hotel, you might end up taking one of the night buses, which are the routes that have the N in front of the number. It's a bit of an interesting experience, so if you've had a couple of drinks in you, it's probably best. Number 11, don't try to get on the hop on, hop off bus. Some of the hop on, hop off tours have big red buses that look a bit similar to the London city buses, so if you're not paying attention, you might think you're getting on one of those. Don't try to get on one of those. You cannot use your Oyster card. You have to get a ticket for those buses. And a bonus tip, try to snag the front seat on the top deck whenever you can because you can get some really cool views of London from there. If this is your first time to London, make sure you download my London 101 guide, which is free, just popping up here. You can click there to get it. And again, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my London videos. And I'll see you next week. The underground may seem a little bit scary if you've never used it before, but promise it's not. Here's what you should know before your first ride. By the way, if you click the little subscribe button around